Do you ever just wake up one day and you're like, I have had it with my own freaking shenanigans? Hi, that's me today. Your girl has the ADHD and has been struggling with a super bad injury this week, so movement and being productive have not been happening. Executive dysfunction plus injury at its finest. But today, with you lovely humans' help, I have a very specific goal to get over my own crap and see just how long it actually takes me to do all these things I've been putting off. Highly encourage you guys to pick whatever your procrastination project is and tackle that heifer with me while I'm doing this. First up is a bath. No, I haven't been wallowing in my own filth, but you might be able to hear the tub filling in the background. Because I messed up my SI joint like super nasty, it has been hurting really, really bad to be able to move to get into the shower, so I've been putting it off for like an extra day, and frankly, it's time.
Can you smell that?
So let's take a bath and see how long that takes.
Have a control car drive by. No.
I decided to enjoy a good long soak while I enjoyed the Father Dowling mysteries and a nice candle with some lighting, of course. Self-care is important, and I am absolutely horrible at not doing it. So that was worth the 45 minutes. Now, you may have noticed that my face is looking kind of scabbedy and a hot mess. That is for a few reasons, most of which has to do with having OCD. I tend to pick at my face if there's even like the slightest imperfection, and it's making me crazy. So at some point today, I need to finally do my nails. I have found that if I do dip nails, it is like a godsend because I can make them thick enough to where I cannot pick at my face. And lo and behold, my skin gets better. I know, shocker. But for the moment, I have basically been living in like the comfy Halara clothes I usually wear, but I feel like today I need to spruce it up a little bit and make more than just 5 minutes of effort with whatever the heck I'm gonna wear.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner!
Ever since losing the weight, one of the biggest problems that I've had is figuring out what on earth to wear, because most of my closet does not fit, with the exception of like the stretchy sweatpant items. This dress, for example, used to be too small for me, but I kept hanging on to it in the closet because I was like, it's adorable, hello. It's actually really exciting that it fits now. It's a little short though. Like, if I bend, there's gonna be an incident, so I might need to add some shorts underneath. My compression shorts are going to come in handy. Since I've been having so many problems, particularly with my SI joint, like that hurt, it really helps just to have a little bit of more compression around the hip area as a whole to cut down, to cut down on pain. I love trying to be efficient when I'm injured. It wasn't even like I did something. Just every few months, my SI joint goes out. Oh, that's better. Nice and compressed, add a little pressure where I need it. And hey, if I happen to bend, my booty at least looks cute. Anytime I'm in a flare-up, which I currently am, histamine issues are so fun. That's when I tend to have more problems with my foot or more problems with my SI joint. But right now, after the amount of muscle relaxers I've been on this week, I am just grateful to be able to stand and put some weight on my left leg because it would hurt so bad before that I couldn't. And now it's just spurts of it, but I still can't really bend properly, as you saw with me trying to put on my shorts. It took a whopping 8 minutes for me to be able to find a cute outfit instead of just throwing on whatever like comfy sweatwear I would normally wear. That's 3 extra minutes. Y'all, if you need a pick-me-up, spend those 3 extra minutes. And we're about to spend them on my face. She needs a pick-me-up. And to brush her teeth. Moan and breath. Can't forget to moisturize. Stuff like this is the stuff that I tend to put off. And I'm like, why? It takes 30 extra seconds to give your skin what it needs. But sometimes I don't have the mental or physical energy to do it. And sometimes I need you beautiful people on the interwebs for the sake of making a video to hold me accountable. And frankly, it's appreciated because my skin feels better already. I feel like especially with ADHD, my level of usefulness varies. Like I can have a day where I just can't get off the couch at all. The executive dysfunction is going hard and the only thing I'm going to get done is stuff that I can do sitting down, like editing YouTube videos. Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background, he's acting a fool. But sometimes I'm so like overwhelmed or overstimulated, I can't even do that and all it requires is my fingers. But then there's days where it's like, okay, I get a 4-hour window, I'm going to get stuff done. And then there's days where I feel like I get a full week's worth of stuff done in like
an 8-hour period. And then, of course, I crash out and it wrecks me for the next 3 days. So, that's fun. So I'm trying to get better about, one, understanding when my body is giving me these fatigue cues, but also trying to find a way to kind of hack around what my brain tries to do to me, both energy wise and just in terms of feeling either overstimulated or fixated on something that is either helpful or unhelpful. I want to find more balance as a whole.
It took 7 whole minutes to get a comb run through my hair, some moisturizer on, and brushing my teeth, admittedly with finding camera angles. And now I need to do something more for my skin. If you have bad skin, whether it's because you pick or you got acne, you don't have to cover it up if you don't want to, but I'm going to be completely honest in that all of these red splotches make me self-conscious, and I would like to be able to have skin texture that looks a little more even. I don't need to be out there looking like a Snapchat filter because guess what, guys? We all have pores and texture. I also fully understand if you're just kind of over what your skin is doing on some days, because that is me right now. Especially with my OCD, because I have been struggling hard to not pick at my skin. And the plucking portion, I have a third of an eyebrow. This is disgraceful. Trichotillomania, super fun. If you know, you know. This is just like a tinted beauty balm, but I feel like it helps a little bit with evening out my skin tone, and I like it. Next up, we have concealer, or what's left of it is that at the bottom of the bottle, I just want to cover up some red splotches. Ironically, these 2 red splotches on my lip, which were very ill-timed, have kind of low-key made it look like I have lip filler because it's swollen. And I'm like, I don't hate the look, but not gonna pay the money, and I don't want any toxins in my face. I do enough of that in my diet, and I'm trying to work on it. Cover up all this. And are we going to talk about the last time I've washed this makeup sponge? No, we are not. Let's just say, whatever your time is, I probably got you beat for the last time it was washed.
Ew.
That's not a bragging point. That's disgraceful. But at least it's honest. Blending. One thing that I've enjoyed is this Laura Geller powder. It does absolutely nothing in terms of coverage. However, I actually feel like it does a really good job of balancing out the colors in my skin just to where it looks healthier. It just makes me feel a little bit less red because I deal with a lot of rosacea. Mostly I just want to look awake, maybe, I don't know, I had a good night's sleep for once in my life, which would be a lie. A little bit of tinted chapstick. Oh god, that is the wrong tint. She real pink. Oh well, it's on there. And I gotta fish my mascara out from underneath the sink or the cat freaking swiped it. Oh god, bending. Oh.
2,000 years later.
Oh, beauty is pain. Oh god, no, I gotta get back up. Okay, come on, spine. It is really hard to close your mouth when you put on mascara. I also don't wear mascara very often because of the whole trichotillomania thing. It makes me want to rip the eyelashes out my face. Sometimes I just want to feel cute, dang it. And now she needs a freaking eyebrow. One thing I have never been able to freaking figure out is how to do my doggone eyebrows and make them look real. So if anybody has any tutorial recommendations for what the frick I'm doing wrong, or just general recommendations, I'd be on board. It took about 15 minutes, but I've got my makeup done, earrings on, necklace added, and frankly, I feel cute. My mood is already better. Realistically, I don't have 15 extra minutes every day, but sometimes the days where I do have it, I have to remember that it's actually worth the effort just to feel better about myself. I also went around and opened up the windows in the house because we are finally blessed with some better weather, at least for the first few hours. And with the winter scaries coming around, I know that I need to take full advantage of as much breeze and sun as I can because it, honest to God, really does help me battle that seasonal depression that hits the second it starts getting dark early outside. Absolutely worth the extra minute. The downside of spending the few extra minutes above what I normally would this morning is that I am now completely drained of energy. When battling chronic fatigue, which is a giant pain in my butt, sometimes I have to be realistic about the fact that I might not consistently have the same amount of energy as other people. I'm trying to find the balance and I'm trying to be better about listening to my body. Right now I'm feeling all the fatigue symptoms, and instead of doing the billion dishes in the sink, which I'm not even going to show you because it is that terrifying, what I'm going to focus on is doing things that I can do proactively while taking a minute to rest and recuperate so I can get back to all of those projects. First up, hydrate. I am still doing the prebiotic fiber addition to my water simply because I don't have enough veggies in my diet. It is a work in progress, but until then, I want to make sure that I am digesting things as good as possible. So, proactive with water, and I add this in every time. This is just the off-brand Benefiber. Because I actually remembered to take my ADHD meds this morning, which is a not exactly unexpected challenge that comes with it. I have the mental energy, which is more than I normally have, to do all the things I need to do, which is why I was motivated to make this video, but not the physical energy. So it's like one battles the other. Water, check. I initially had a 1-gallon water bottle because I was like in my head, oh, I need to drink a gallon of water a day, roughly. I realized that frankly, that thing is so big and bulky, it is so annoying to take around with you and to deal with refilling that I just straight up wasn't drinking water for something that is that stupid and minor, but it is what it is. Switching to the smaller one, which matches my outfit, somehow has like quadrupled my water intake. Sometimes, if you are trying to work on a habit and it is just not working, you might need to look into ways that you're holding yourself back or ways that you can tweak it to make it slightly easier or just slightly more adept to you. Be honest with whatever you're struggling with and get the friggin' smaller bottle if you need to. At least you're hydrated. Now, in my battles to get things done, one thing that has definitely fallen by the wayside is picking up my meds. I absolutely hate dealing with refilling prescriptions. It costs more to have them shipped to you, otherwise I would do that. But what annoys the bejesus out of me is that a lot of the meds that I'm on, the ADHD ones, Zepbound, and my sleep meds, all 3 of those are regulated enough to where they won't let you refill it like too early, and then you have to call back again. So when I finally have the energy to call, half the time they're like, oh, well, actually, you can't fill this for 3 more days. Guess who's gonna forget by the time that 3 days hits? And then guess who's suddenly out of her sleep meds and wondering why she's losing her ever-loving mind because she hasn't slept in a week. So right before Walgreens closed yesterday, I finally freaking remembered to call them and be like, can I get my meds, please? Because I'm tired. They are ready. Since I have no energy for standing activities right now, I'm gonna go see how freaking long it takes to do this stinking activity that I've been putting off for forever so that maybe I can have a good night's sleep. Let's go get my meds. She ghetto, but she works. So my audio sounded like it got put through a wood chipper thanks to my air conditioning, so here's a voiceover. All I was trying to fill you guys in on is that I am a genius and spilled a bunch of pesticides in the back of my car. And for obvious reasons, didn't want to be, breathing all of that in for an indeterminate amount of time. So I was at war with myself, debating on whether or not I could put in the elbow grease to get it cleaned out, or if I should pick up some extra shifts so that I could pay someone to clean the bejesus out of it. Either way, I was looking forward to breathing again, and I most definitely struggle with allowing myself to sometimes pay for things to get done when I know that I can do them myself, but sometimes the value is worth it.
God holds the rest. This is K-Love.
I need to pick up a prescription. Thank you. There you go. Thank you so much. You too. I did make a pit stop at O'Reilly's as part of my errands so that I could get a new cabin air filter to try and get some of the pesticide air out of my car. Cabin air filter is a check. And it was also kind of fun because my friend actually works at O'Reilly's that I went to high school with, so it was nice to briefly get caught up with him. It's a small world after all.
Tomorrow.
There are certain things in life worth knowing, and how to change your cabin air filter is one of them. All you gotta do is get this heifer off of there. One good bonk, you're good to go. Look at that, there it is. You pull that sucker out. Mine's not horrible, but it could use a change. And then you slide the new one in once you take the plastic off. Just make sure you pay attention to what direction the old filter was facing because the new one needs to match. After buying my filter, I decided to go through the car wash because honestly, my poor car really needed some pampering, and I knew that if I was going to end up having to pay someone to detail it, I could not in good conscience let them have to do so with the condition my car was in. It was just too gross. At the very least, my car is vacuumed out and now I'm exhausted again. I had my rest from the sitting down errands and then I had to stand and kind of re-angle myself so I didn't mess with my back. But the car is vacuumed out and frankly, that's the cleanest it's been in a year. The last seated/standing errand I have to do that I've been putting off is getting all of the groceries for meal prepping. Y'all know that is my biggest struggle with trying to actually stay on top of my diet. But I tried to do the Walmart order yesterday with the intent of cooking something for dinner, and instead Walmart left off my rotisserie chicken. So I'm going to go there, grab that, and to see also if they have any of the Armor All wipes for the inside of cars so I can finish tackling this. I swear it is physically impossible to get out of Walmart and actually be able to spend under $50. It just doesn't happen. I always manage to find something else we need, which is also why I tend to mostly just do the online orders only, but when they forget things, it does not help. My back is definitely over it, so I'm gonna go home, chug a bunch of water because I forgot to bring it with me, and see what's next on my list. All of those errands took 1 hour and 50 minutes, which, given everything and how long it took to vacuum up my car, I would say is not too bad. Now, I am exhausted, but I'm gonna eat lunch, dang it. I am not just going to let Zepbound's lack of appetite have me eating nothing, not allowed. We need nutrients, hence the corn. What I'm going to be doing, and ignore my messy living room, it's on the list, is the I ain't got time or energy for this meal. So, corn. And for the remainder of it, I'm going to be making a veggie wrap with some leftover veggies. When you are tired and all you want to do is maybe order out, think of how many minutes it's actually going to take you to prep whatever it is you gotta eat. Bonus points if it's healthy. As opposed to how many minutes it takes to actually drag yourself off the couch and go through a drive-thru to get something that's going to make you feel like crap after, or even ordering it online, say DoorDash. And I can tell you that if you just take the method of I'm exhausted, I'm going to sit on the couch, use a TV tray, and put this together that way, it's still going to take less time and less effort than it would to go order that food, let alone pick it up. That's the message I'm trying to get through to myself on the days where I just am too exhausted to care, because it's not actually easier to eat out. Man, it takes forever when you are eating a bunch of vegetables to chew them down. I guess that's the perks of fiber. I feel like for me, this has been a really helpful way to have a lot of veggies without too much extra stuff. Like smidge of light mayo, smidge of whipped cream cheese is not that big of a deal, and it's a single tortilla as opposed to like a burrito-sized wrap. I feel like the one thing I haven't quite gotten right is the amount of seasoning I need. I think I went a little too heavy on the garlic powder today. But it's been a happy way for me to sneak more veggies into my diet, and corn is in season, and I honestly love corn. Throwing that in the microwave for 5 seconds has been the easiest thing ever. All of that took me maybe 5 minutes to throw together, which even if you're ordering DoorDash online, still less time, and you get it quicker. If you guys have any ready-to-go meals that you can throw together in like 5 minutes or less when you're just exhausted and don't have time to deal with anything, what are they? I would love to hear them below. Do y'all ever have that one room in the house where no matter what you do, you cannot for the life of you seem to keep it clean? And by default, it kind of gives you a cluttered brain and more anxiety. And before you know it, your brain basically looks as cluttered as the room does. For me, that's my living room. So I decided it was time to whip that heifer into shape. I did have to be super cautious though, because my back was jacked. So trying to bend for things did not go well.
Never let him get you down. Gonna make you stay just fine.
Is a cultural treasure of my country,
Oh my gosh,
stolen from its people.
Cleo?
I demand
Are you under the couch?
No, Bay, how do you know that this statuette is a treasure of your?
Thank God I didn't crush her. Oh my gosh. I literally looked underneath to make sure there's no cats. But she's all black and is basically a shadow, and apparently was taking a nap because I didn't see any glowing eyeballs. Poor baby. My poor Cleo.
Are you okay, my love? I'm so sorry. I almost squished you.
I feel so bad. Now she's hiding under the bed because I think she thinks I tried to crush her. Do you know how freaking hard it is to sweep when you have a kitten? Like, sir, that is my dust pile. Can you get off of that? No. Can you move? Please? Move. You're not very helpful. I'm trying to send him scooching. Away you go. So not helpful. Get a kitten, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Someone's insane, I said. Yes, you're very cute. Ah. You're not gonna chew on me. You're gonna get in trouble. You don't chew on your mama. And all of that only took about 20 minutes, even including the sweeping. One of the things that I have found in terms of being overwhelmed by my own dang house is that a lot of times it takes me more energy to just let it be messy and be all anxious because of it than it does to just take the 10, 20 minutes to clean up whatever it is, because the mental fog, the stress, the like overwhelmed, overstimulated feeling, all of that is so much less whenever I actually have a clean house. That's also the one thing that I like consistently forget. So I'm just like, my brain is a wreck. I wonder why. And my house looks like a cyclone hit it.
I gotta tell you, you got issues.
And then it was time for the DIY project that I'd been putting off for forever. Those of you guys who are not aware, I am like diehard houseplant enthusiast. Obviously, they're everywhere in my house. So anything related to plants, whether indoors or outdoors, I'm super excited. Now, I have a staghorn fern that has been in dire need of some love. My grandma has staghorn ferns at her house. She's in San Diego, and oh my gosh, they are wall mounted and they are stunning. Now, my staghorn fern in a pot brings me basically no joy whatsoever. So I have been in the mood to figure out how to mount them. And I found a project that's kind of been more than I can chew.
Yeah, it's shocker.
But here's what I have so far. One of the things I love doing is turning trash into treasure, or at least repurposing old items into new, more functional items. I got the frame at the thrift store. The wood was scrap wood from my yard. I do not have a jigsaw, so I literally just slaughtered my arms with a handsaw to cut it to where it would sort of kind of mostly fit. You can't see this part from the front at least. And then I mounted it with wood glue, and I'm hoping and praying it'll stay. I stained the wood itself, so it's got a nice white appearance. And then this I got from my neighbor. It was some old wire that she had been using for like a compost bin. So I cleaned it off, cut it up, and then basically zip tied it together after I trimmed the bits so it could make a holder for the fern. And then I drilled it onto here. Now, I have been through heck with this project. The wood glue straight up went through it. And so I ended up having to paint over this whole frame because it accidentally took parts of it off. So it is now painted. But I got so annoyed with everything that happened with the wood glue. It has basically just been sitting on my counter for what feels like a month at this point. I'm like, how much energy would it actually take to finish this project and get this freaking thing mounted? Well, we're gonna find out. She is mounted. Not flawless, but for the first time ever mounting a staghorn fern and having one that has like more than one in there, I'd say not the worst thing ever, and I'm looking forward to seeing how much she grows in her new spot, although she's gonna need a little more light. That definitely was not the fastest thing on my to-do list. That took 1 hour and 10 minutes because it took forever to get the sphagnum moss in just the right arrangement so it would fit in there without falling out. But for a first attempt, I feel pretty freaking good about it. What usually happens at this point when I finally accomplish something that's been on my to-do list for forever and working my last nerve, I kind of get into the like ADHD go mode and I want to get through 900,000 projects at once. And I'm like, nope, this is how it backfires. And then you will be glued to the couch for the next week. And I've already been on the couch too much this week, courtesy of that back injury. So instead, I'm just going to slowly keep working on what I should be working on. The other thing that's been on my to-do list that I have been thoroughly putting off is cutting some vegetables. Anytime I order veggies from the store, my goal is usually to cut them up the day that I get them, but the kitchen has been such a wreck that I just had not gotten that far. And to be completely honest, I'm not ready to deal with that kitchen yet, but it's on my to-do list. However, I think I can manage to use my chopper to just chop up some of the onions that I got in so that they are ready for my recipes for me to cook. It's literally been on my to-do list for weeks, so hopefully those onions are still good. And in case you're wondering, using the chopper does not cut down on how much your eyeballs will burn. I feel like someone put salt in my eyes. But at least this is all ready for the freezer and they didn't go bad. Took 10 whole minutes. And don't get me wrong, maybe in theory I could cut them up faster than that. But if you're not going to do it the way that works instead.
Like many other people with ADHD, I struggle to not leave remnants of all my projects behind me, but I was determined to clean this one up.
Can you move?
Even Chippy's determination to sleep in all of the dirt piles could not dissuade me from cleaning it up. Now, by this point, my back was starting to lock up a little bit, so I decided to take a break on the couch with Cleo, who thankfully by this point had forgiven me for accidentally locking her under the couch earlier. So the cat didn't want to move. It took me like 45 minutes to finally get off the couch and get around to tackling the kitchen. But I have started the process. There's a load of dishes going now, but unfortunately my back decided to seize up again. So, curled up with an ice pack. And then I'm gonna do some PT exercises, but I am really over my back right now. At the very least, I got a few more things done today than I have done in a very long time. At least that's what it feels like, because finally items are getting off my to-do list. If you guys happen to take the time while you're watching this to go through the items that you've been putting off and hopefully be nicely surprised that they didn't take as long as you thought they would, I would love to know what those items are, so comment below and let me know. I am going to see if I can get my back to stop being a twit, and if I can, I'm going to finish up the kitchen today, finally get these nails done,
and then finally start on the car. I'm kind of afraid to see how long it is going to take to do the car, but I'm looking forward to being able to breathe and not having a bunch of junk in there. Okay, I've been out here for like 2 hours scrubbing my car. It is still not even close to what I would call clean and is probably still in what I would call disgusting range because my car is 19 years old and has never been steam cleaned on the inside, and I think I've Armor All wiped it like twice. So that's on me. This is one of those few times where paying someone to do the thing instead of me doing the thing is worth the money, even if I had to take on some extra shifts for it. Whew. Hopefully you guys just kind of enjoyed this vlog style video. Sorry if you can hear the dishwasher in the background, but wishing y'all the best because I know the struggle if you are basically fighting your body on the regular, whether that be ADHD, OCD, chronic fatigue, or if you just hit the trifecta and you get all three. Either way, best of luck dealing with all your shenanigans because I'm still dealing with my shenanigans. And I will see you lovely humans next time. Bye bye!